in our last video we worked on this button. That's the leading icon button. So today we're going to be working on the next button, which is the trailing icon button. So let's just duplicate this section here, and we have the trailing icon button. Let's change this order and let's make this, instead of margin right, let's make it margin left. Let's see, and we have our trailing button. That was actually very easy. So let's move on to do the round buttons. So for the round buttons look very much like the primary buttons, but with more rounded corners. So we're going to copy the primary buttons and we're going to increase the roundedness. Let's say rounded full. So what rounded full does is it gives us a border radius of 100%, assuming you're familiar with the CSS property called border radius. Let's see, rounded full. Okay, it's not working. It's because somewhere here in our BTN primary we've already declared that we want the rounded LG. So well, there are many ways we can override that, but I think just for the sake of simplicity we're going to be using this modifier. So what this exclamation mark does is, if you're familiar with CSS, there's something called important. So read more about this property. This basically helps us override a property that we've previously defined. To break it down, CSS rules are usually prioritized. For instance, if you have let me show you what this looks like here. For instance, if you have a class, for instance BTN primary, that defines a border radius as this value, if later on in a different class we want to override that value, we can use the important property. So if you see the rounded full that I added here, what it does is it sets a new border radius and it marks it as important. Basically, this important means that this value here for this property, border radius, should override what we have here as the previous border radius, right? So you can do well to read more about it. So now that our button text is, our rounded button is complete, let's make the final button, which is the circular button. So let's just copy this. Let's call it circular button, and let's copy our icon. I think we want the plus icon. Let's remove any margin around it, and let's see. Okay, let's just leave that one. What do we have? Okay. Okay. Let's just create a new class here. Let's call it BTN circular. Okay. Or you know what? There's no need to make it complicated. Let's just come here and give it a fixed height of 10 and a fixed width of 10. Okay, and also let's get the correct material icon Let's search for plus add. Alright, so we should be doing add, not plus. Okay, it's not properly centered, so let's say so we initially defined some stuffs in the, you know what, let's just abstract this. I've been trying to avoid doing that, but let's say btn circle primary. So here we can say btn circle primary. Apply these classes except for this one, of course. Let's escape this character. Okay. Okay. Let's have something else here. btn primary. Okay, so let's overwrite the padding. I'm thinking about the best way to go about this. You know what? I think we should separate these classes so that we can. So let's just remove this. Let's say btn. Let's remove it from here. We're going to compose it on the HTML. So no more btn. Okay, messed up. But now everywhere we had btn primary, we're going to have our base btn class defined first. So let's say btn. Okay, now this allows us to customize some things. So yeah, I don't need this anymore. I just simply need to say btn rounded, and here I just need to say btn circle btn primary. Let's see. Alright, so this one needs to be fixed. btn rounded, there's no such class, so let's define it real quick. So we have btn and we have btn rounded. So let's apply some classes. So basically we want, it's just a variation of this one. So we can say apply btn and then force the full border radius. Then we can also work on this one. We can say the btn circle will be apply, let's see, okay, let's say height 10 with 10 rounded full. Okay, good. So yeah, that's basically it. We have all our buttons ready to go.